That's it. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? Sam Heine here, checking in with another episode of Street Talk. I'm standing here with Ben Botkins today at the corner of Bardstown Road and Rosewood Avenue. We're standing in an old police station, and one that Ben just bought. It was a police station, a ballet studio, right?
On the other side, yeah. This address at 1306 has always been a police station.
Yeah.
It's been vacant for quite a while, but yeah, it was built in 1909 as a police station.
Yeah.
The other side was built in 1917 as the BellSouth switching board company.
Yeah.
And it was at some point in time turned into the Louisville Ballet, and it's been vacant ever since, to my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's wild.
It's wild.
It really is, because real quick, Ben is the owner of Parkside Bikes, NuLu Bed Bike. He's a real estate investor and developer, I guess, at this point.
It's so funny to people have introduced me recently as a developer, and I just still.
You gotta wear the hat, man.
It's a funny. I don't think of myself that way. I don't know, but that's funny.
Yeah. Well, it's funny,
man.
Because
by definition, these we're going to develop these. So,
I guess. Yeah, technically, I guess now you're a developer, man. So I gotta say it. Hey, I gotta say
There's such a connotation with that word, you know.
There is. I feel like you gotta wear a tie to these kind of things. I guess.
Or be like real, like brash and like. I don't know.
It's funny. But it's interesting to me, and I'm a Highlands guy, so for almost my whole life, I've been around this area in a lot of different ways, whether just driving by or walking by. And these buildings, and anybody out there that is from around the Highlands, they'll kind of know this feel. But the facades of these buildings immediately attract your eye, but at the same time, they're so easy to just glaze over. Like you almost don't notice them at the same time. And so it's really cool to see somebody snap them up. And I'm curious what your inspiration for that was.
Yeah, I mean, so it's I've done a couple other interviews, and the real thing for me is I used to sit just straight through there, and I would stare at these buildings sitting at Heine Brothers patio and just be like, these are two of the coolest buildings in this whole corridor. Why are they just sitting there dying? Like, how is this possible?
Yep.
And the conversations I've had with other people since we bought them in the later summer is that same thing. Everyone's always wondering, how could these just sit there? Or they assumed somebody had cool plans for them. I assumed someone had cool plans for them. And it turned out kind of like just no one did. And so I had talked for a long time about if I ever had a chance, I would love to buy these and turn them into something cool. And I said that to enough people that someone remembered and let me know last spring that there was going to be a chance. So,
man, that's awesome.
That's cool.
What's the vision? I've seen some preliminary draw-ups, but you got some cool plans for this.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the backstory to it. As about a year ago, our partner on this, we were having a conversation at Lovino down the street. We're just like, man, Bardstown Road really needs some revitalization. Like, we gotta help support all the cool stuff we have here and build on it and like keep the energy going. And we had kind of committed then that we would buy properties in disrepair or look for a project. And this was number one on the list. Mm-hmm. So it came first as we got to do something to help keep help get some energy back into Bardstown Road. And then this was the number one pick. We've been doing stuff with short-term rentals for a few years. It's worked out really well, and it's called Bed and Bike, and each room would come with 2 bikes, and it's honestly gone better than we ever expected. And when we did the development in NuLu, it was difficult, but it was roughly the same size as these buildings, and so I knew that we had a model that would work, and ultimately bring up to 40 people a day to this area, so they can go to Carmichael's and Discoveries and Heine Brothers and
Yeah.
support the local businesses on here. So we really have a multiplier effect. We could save some old buildings. So we're doing 21 rooms in here.
Nice.
So we could have up to 40 people, and then we'll do a commercial frontage. So perhaps a bar, a restaurant, and we're talking with people about that. So
Totally, yeah.
make these buildings come alive again.
Absolutely. It seems like a backbone of what you've been doing with your other businesses has been that short-term rental piece, and especially with this property right here, even more so, I guess. It's really the staple of what this is. So you've really drilled into that as a niche, I guess.
Yeah, this ticks a lot of boxes for myself and for Sarah and for our partners on this project. I mean, personally, I love old stuff. I don't know where that happened for me, but it's pretty much across the categories. I mean, I like old furniture, old cars, old bicycles, old buildings. Something about it, there's a more authenticity to it.
Yeah.
I'm just drawn to it. And these, in what I call the Park Mile, or from Bonnycastle to Grinstead, these are my favorite buildings that were sitting.
Yeah.
So to be able to have a chance to preserve these and revitalize them and bring them into a modern usage in a model that I understand and know that works. I mean, it's to bring people to Louisville and to bring to the neighborhood. I mean, this is where I've always lived in Louisville, the Highlands.
Yeah.
Really between Sherwood and Longest is my pretty much all but a few snowboarding years out west is my entire adult existence. So, to save something, restore it, bring people to appreciate it and see it, and then them support the local economy and go and see Cherokee Park and these things that I love and go back to wherever they're from and say they had a great experience in Louisville is like, I mean, that's almost all of my interests turned into one thing. Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man, because and I'm a Highlands guy myself, like I mentioned, and there's so many cool things happen in this general vicinity. There's a lot of foot traffic, Mid-City Mall, but the restaurants surrounding in particular. So it's really a hub, and I feel like this corner, bringing something cool to this corner, just restoring it in general would do a lot to bring people to the area. But I also feel like lately NuLu and like St. Matthews is stiff competition for in the entertainment sense. You know, it's given the Highlands a little bit of a run for their money. So I almost feel like this would.
That's I don't think you could be more spot on than that. I mean, that's what we all need to realize is that this isn't the only cool show in town anymore. You know, there's Germantown, there's Jeffersonville, New Albany, Paristown has some energy going to it. There's talks of developing East Broadway, Frankfort Avenue, St. Matthews. You know, the one thing I hope that people come to realize about Bardstown Road or this area, and many already have, is that it isn't just going to revitalize on its own. It's not just going to suddenly, outpace NuLu. We've got to put a plan together. We have to work together. We have to inspire each other to take on projects. That's the big idea with this. I hope that people see these buildings go from, sort of downtrodden and no lights on, like we talked about, and almost where they're invisible because they haven't been activated in so long. That when they see this, see the people flowing in and out, that it inspires more redevelopment down the line. Yeah,
because I almost feel like the Highlands, especially the people living around the Highlands, it's been this hub for a number of years, and it kind of is going down a little bit. I think in recent years it's kind of been creeping back up.
A lot of people that would agree with you, and there's a fork in the road in these conversations that I've had with a lot of people, and some people are just like, well, the Highlands, it's in cycles, and you don't know what it was like in the 80s. And I'm like, well, yeah, it was I was 5 years old. Like, I don't know what it was like.
You weren't taking notes?
But like, to me, that line, and I've got that a lot from a lot of people, is, oh, it was worse in the 80s, is such an uninspiring outlook on a corridor and neighborhoods and history and parks that, it's just because it was worse in the 80s, it's almost like a way of not taking action. Like, it hasn't gotten as bad as it was at its worst. So
we'll wait until it gets terrible and then we'll do something.
Like conversations I've had with other folks, it's like, I don't want to wait 20 years for it to self-resurrect. Like, I want to do something about it now. It needs something to be done now. So I get a lot of motivation out of that. I'm really excited to be a part of it in a small way. I mean, there's other cool stuff going on, but to be right here in Cherokee Park, to
Totally.
be right there, and it to be a corner and to be historic, it's
Yeah.
got to be done right. And
Yeah.
that's what we were setting out to do.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the people that live directly around here, but also, I mean, it's a hell of a strip. So like, it's cool for everybody. You know,
Right.
people coming in, they can shoot up to the Highlands, go back down to NuLu, maybe check out Paristown Pointe.
So I think everyone's big vision would be that, one day Bardstown Road would continue with the developments going on in the original Highlands and on Baxter, and drop down the hill and connect that corner property, which in New York is the Flatiron Building, and in Louisville it holds PVC pipes 4 feet off the ground. Like, hopefully that turns into something cool
Right.
that connects us to what's the road just on the other side of Market Street.
It's
It's a one-way street. Jefferson, which hopefully the development continues on Jefferson, then to NuLu, then to Butchertown, to the waterfront, and we have this one corridor that continues and has a continuity all the way through.
yeah.
I mean, how cool! It just seems destined for that.
Yeah. This is going to be a big renaissance period. We're
I
going
hope.
to look back 10, 20 years and be like, wow, all this happened.
But I was when we announced our plans for this. I mean, I was so nervous. I've attended, even though we have the absolute best intentions, and I live here, I've had a business here for 11 years, and all I know is like, I'm a resident of this neighborhood first and foremost. But I've been to meetings and I see how people immediately don't like change before they even hear it. They're like, change, don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm so relieved to say that, people would come into the bike shop after they found out this and just hug me. People have written letters.
Yeah.
It's been a really positive thing. So
That's
I
awesome.
hope people continue to feel that way.
Yeah.
And get excited as they see this take shape.
There's much more good than bad. But yeah, you're right. People pull the microscopes out and they're just, they're ready to just
Right.
this.
Or they hear the word development and they just immediately think like, what are you taking away?
Right.
Are you getting rid of green space? Things that I'm sensitive to. I'm more of a preservationist in mindset than anything. But no, this is a reactivation of amazing buildings that are worthy of a proper restoration.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I guess we've touched on a lot of this with, NuLu leading up to this way in Paristown Pointe. There's a lot going on in Smoketown. What are a couple of projects, developments going on around town, or just a couple of neighborhoods in general that you see some action happening in that you think is really going to put Louisville on a different level?
Yeah, it's wild. The soccer stadium. To think that we had acres and acres and acres on the waterfront.
Isn't that crazy?
I think it was something like 40-something acres total when you factor in the botanical gardens. Excited about that.
Oh yeah.
The soccer stadium. Excited about that. You think the impound lot. That's like 10 acres or something. It's like we have 40, 50 acres just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I really get excited about things that are underutilized. It's hard to imagine something more underutilized than Louisville's waterfront. So to pair that with Waterfront Park, incredible. I went to the market, the Logan Street Market on
Pretty
Sunday
cool.
for the first time, and it's like, it felt like you're in another city,
Yeah.
It's like, it's incredible.
So cool.
And so, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Paristown. I saw a show in the concert venue there back in the spring, and it's like, it's incredible,
Yeah.
My kids found out they're doing an ice skating rink for the season over there. They're excited.
They're doing it up over there, yeah.
And I was speaking with the guys at Architectural Salvage, and I was noticing one of their buildings is just incredible. This 3-story, 1880s-ish property, and we started talking about the trolley line, and he was saying how from West Broadway all the way up to Douglas Loop was the trolley line, and all of the properties, by and large, looked like that building.
Really?
So, thinking about that and they're almost, they might still be considered East Broadway, but to think about those buildings being redone and East Broadway, which is this giant wide street, that's exciting to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
a
cool.
lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff happening. It's kind of a loaded question because there's so many things actually happening that are exciting for each neighborhood that they're happening in.
Bardstown Road, I think I've heard about a hotel potentially going on down here near the Speedway. That could be a really good thing. I think it's the laundromat property. That would be a great turnaround for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be cool. As far as something, super
Right.
close to here.
And that's another thing, I guess, now that you mentioned that, but there's really not anything like that around the Highlands, hotels, and what you're doing especially.
Yeah, there's not currently a hotel, and this kind of falls in that hybrid line. But bottom line is it'll be 40 people a day coming up here, hopefully, and getting to shop and see what we love and why we did this here, and see these old properties, and I think they're going to love it. It's exciting to think about sharing that. Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, and there's someone's going to do an IKEA on the golf course in Cherokee Park, so that's exciting.
Really? I was gonna say that came out of left field. Like, okay.
Everybody's worried about that golf course. It's just fun.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, cool, man. I think there's a lot of good that's going on here. I think a lot of people are excited about it, and it's happening for the right reason. So I'm excited to stay tuned and see what happens.
Yeah. We're ready to get moving.
Everybody, keep your eyes on the prize, and end of next year is kind of when it's.
Yeah, Andy Bleeden would laugh about this. Yeah, I've never hit a timeline or a budget, so I'll do my best. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna push hard. So
no promises for the end of next year, but trying.
Yeah, believe it or not, construction projects run late sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Oh, I'm excited about the. I should have mentioned this already, but in NuLu, right across from a property we have there at 822, they're doing that big renovation of the printing factory.
Yes.
That's going to be incredible.
Was that
the NuLu Market?
Yeah.
NuLu Marketplace?
Marketplace, yeah. West 6 is moving in.
West 6, it's incredible.
I don't think you can beat that as an
they're behind the timeline too, so
yeah,
I'm not the only one.
Yeah. I think there was supposed to be like a Halloween party or something like that. So I guess
I mean that's incredible.
Yeah, and that happens. It's worth taking your time on something like that. There's so much that goes into it. So
that's probably the biggest frontage on Market Street that I can think of that's currently able to be developed. So gotta get it right.
Yeah, totally. Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and filling me in on
finally.
everything.
Thanks for being patient with me finally meeting up.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad we did it. Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
All right.